forget. Let us not forget. Go back in time and Eugenia Charles and give her credit when she realized that there are students in Dominica who are experiencing challenges. What did she do, man? She established the Education Trust Fund. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? She established the Education Trust Fund. Oliver Serafin, as the interim prime minister in 1979, in September 1979, when he realized the rising cost of secondary education in Dominica, abolished school fees. Remember? Okay? And established a situation where in September 1979, because of post Hurricane David, when children were returning to school, he initiated the no school fees thing. Let us not forget that under Eugenia Charles as well, we have to give her credit. When she did her survey, and that is how things have to be done from a governmental perspective, when she realized the high level of students in Dominica who were going to school without breakfast and lunch, what did she do? She established the school feeding program. Okay, let us not forget that. When the UWP realized that there were many students in Dominica who were not getting proper access to secondary education, and they began to see the failing of the junior secondary school program, which many people are clamoring about to return, and I don't support it one bit. When she realized that, when they realized, what did they do? They moved into universal secondary education. So all those programs there, from a policy perspective, came about as a result of education review. And in order for you to solve problems in education, you have to have that data driven approach to change. You cannot just change things. You have to collect your data. You have to be empirical about it. It cannot just be existential. You have to be empirical about it. Find out where the problems are, find out the magnitude of the problems, find out how the problems are, and then you move towards solving it. So I think, therefore, moving forward, if this problem is to be solved, the government, for its review program, they have to go and see what is the extent of the problem. Where is the problem? Who is affected the most? What are the demographic areas where people are finding it difficult to economically support their children the most? What are the social class sectors? What are the schools where children come with the most issues? What are the villages and areas where those issues are dominant? And then decide to see how you're going to alleviate the problem. When you decide how you're going to alleviate the problem, you will say, okay, how do you engage your stakeholders? How do you involve parents? How do you involve principals? How do you involve the churches? How do you involve the business sector? How do you involve the different areas and sectors in Dominica to alleviate and solve the problem? So if we're looking at a system of children being economically and socially challenged so that they do not access education properly, it cannot be a quick fix, one size fits all approach. It has to be responsible. It has to be data driven. It has to be, and again, Matt, I will say it again, and people will say the government was wrong to dismantle the education planning unit of the Ministry of Education. That was a vital department in the Ministry of Education, the Education Planning Unit, which was headed by people like David Edwards, Max Andrew, what is his name, Mr. Bruno, and all those people, and reduced it into an office with and people like Ted Serra and Zaki Pollock and those people, when the purpose of that department in the Ministry of Education was to do the very same things to answer the question that you are asking now. And so we begin to see a resurgence of the very issues that that department was trying to solve. Instead of expanding it, instead of trying to see, okay, let us see how we can continue with this department so we can have effective education reform. Education reform cannot take place outside of education planning, because education planning is the strategic department in the Ministry of Education that does the requisite investigative research and work to determine where to go in education. I'm
So
very sorry to
why
say.
did they get rid of that department then? Why?
Well, Matt, there are many suspecting reasons. I do not know. There's a scene where there's a lack of vision, the people perish. And if you don't understand governance, if you don't understand public sector management, if you are a government that seeks to wants to victimize and politicize everything, you will not have the vision and the wherewithal to say what are the key sectors in every government department to drive the success of that education department. Okay, it's as simple as this. How much money goes into the this school feeding program that is run, I think, in Baffin State? How many officers are there? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, to me, I don't know. I have been gone from the Ministry of Education going on, I would say, 5 years now. I don't know if I should say thank God or not, but I mean, the fact of the matter is that um, my knowledge of it is that it has been streamlined to a very large extent. We have put a lot of square pegs in wrong holes in that department, and still we have to revise.
And you think that you're being honest with that. Square pegs and round holes in the education ministry.
Well, there is no doubt about that. I mean, the point of the matter is when you look at the background, the quality, and the persons who have been selected to fulfill certain positions in the ministry, the first question that come to mind is what has been their experience, what is their vision, uh, what is their purpose, and not only that, um, progress is based on output. What is the output they've been doing? Um, I don't. I mean, you call me about challenges